All right, everybody, welcome back. We are jumping into another deep dive.
Yeah.
And this time we're looking at AI.
AI.
Yeah, and specifically, we've got some really cool material to go off of today.
Okay.
We've got this discussion that Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
had at Harvard recently.
Oh,
And
it's a-
I mean, this guy, he's leading the charge with like ChatGPT and all that.
Right.
So I think it's really valuable to kind of hear straight from him
Absolutely.
what he thinks is going to happen with AI.
Yeah. Where we're headed.
Exactly.
Oh.
What are some of the big things that he is talking about?
Well, one of the things that I think is most interesting is that he talks about how AI is going to change the nature of work.
Okay.
You know, it's not just about robots like coming in and
Right.
making our jobs.
Feeling our job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's more fundamental than that.
I see.
It's like, what skills are we even going to need?
Right.
You know?
So what kind of skills
Well, he uses the example.
of lawyers?
Okay.
He says that, a lot of the stuff that lawyers do now,
Mm-hmm.
like research, document review, that could be automated.
That makes sense.
But it's also going to create opportunities
Sure.
for new types of legal work,
Right.
like AI regulation
Right. Wow. Yeah.
and AI ethics.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, so it's like we need to be thinking about adaptability.
That's a great point.
Like, what are the skills
Yeah.
that you can learn today
Uh-huh.
that will still be relevant in the future?
Okay, so like forward thinking, kind of what's going to be useful later on.
Yeah. So like we were saying, he doesn't just talk about the good stuff. He
No.
also gets into some of the risks
Okay, yeah.
of AI, which I think is really important.
Yeah,
That
definitely.
he doesn't just shy away from that.
Mm-hmm.
So he talks about misuse,
Okay.
things
Right.
like
What kind of things?
deep fakes,
Oh, yeah.
misinformation campaigns targeted at people.
Oh, that's scary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, he also worries about AI making inequality worse.
Okay.
Like algorithms could be used in hiring
Mhm.
or loan applications,
Yeah.
and they could actually perpetuate biases.
Without us even realizing it.
Yeah, exactly, which
Right.
is super dangerous.
It is.
So that's one of the reasons why he's a
Yeah.
big advocate
Right.
for government regulation.
Okay, so he's like pro-regulation for AI.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
He thinks that's absolutely crucial to
Yeah.
mitigate the risks and make sure that AI benefits everyone.
Right. Right.
He even goes so far as to suggest a global body,
Wow.
like a worldwide organization
Okay.
dedicated to AI governance.
That's a huge idea.
Yeah, it's like, wow, imagine like the WHO,
Right.
but for AI.
AI, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's pretty wild.
It is.
I mean, I don't know how it would work in practice,
Yeah.
but the fact that he's even suggesting it
Yeah.
shows how seriously he takes
Yeah.
these potential problems. Absolutely.
But here's the thing that I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
Even with all these risks
Uh-huh.
that he brings up,
Yeah.
he is still incredibly optimistic
Oh, wow.
about the future.
Really?
He talks about AI helping us solve climate change,
Okay.
develop new medical treatments,
Oh, wow.
things
Yeah,
like
uh-huh.
personalized education.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he sees AI as a tool
Right.
with huge potential
Okay.
for good.
Mm-hmm.
And he really thinks that it can help us
Right.
overcome some of the
Yeah.
biggest challenges.
The biggest challenge.
What you're
yes.
facing.
I like that. Yeah.
So I think the question for all of us listening is like,
Yeah.
what does this mean for you?
Right.
How do you prepare for a world where AI is just like
Everywhere.
everywhere?
Right. What
Well-
skills are you going to need?
Yeah. How do we adapt?
Yeah. And like, even beyond skills,
Hmm.
what about the ethical side of things?
Oh, right. Yeah. How do you navigate all of those questions?
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot to think about.
It is.
The future of AI isn't like set in stone.
Right.
It's something that we're all shaping
Yeah.
through our choices
Right.
and our actions.
Absolutely.
So that's pretty profound.
It is. Yeah.
This deep dive has been a whirlwind.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about AI transforming work.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the risks. We talked about the ethics.
Yeah.
We talked about regulation.
Big topics.
It's a lot.
It is.
But ultimately,
Yeah.
the message that I got from Sam Altman
Okay.
is that the future of AI
Mm-hmm.
is in our hands.
Wow. Yeah. That's a powerful way
Yo.
to put it.
And it's up to all of us to make sure that it benefits everyone,
Right.
not just a select few.
Exactly.
We regulate this powerful tech, even AI friends, believe it or not. It's going to be a wild ride, so stick with us.
Wow. AI friends. That's interesting.
Right. Okay, first things first. OpenAI was a nonprofit, then boom, for profit. So what's the deal with that?
Well, you see, Altman's point is to really get AI going, you need cash. Lots of it.
Makes sense, I guess. But how much are we talking here?
Think about GPT-4, that massive language model, training that thing. Imagine thousands of the best gaming PCs running 2047 for weeks. That's the power they need.
No way.
Yeah, and that's just the start. You got huge data sets, global teams, research. All that costs a fortune.
So that means AI is becoming like a millionaire's playground?
Yeah.
What about regular folks?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It does raise some red flags, right? Who ends up controlling all this awesome tech? Who benefits?
Exactly. And speaking of control, Altman was a bit skeptical, about governments keeping up in this AI race.
That's a tricky one.
Yeah, he even kind of wondered if governments could build AI as good as OpenAI. What do you think? Is he right to be worried?
Well, companies, they can be fast, take risks, in tech, they switch gears, innovate, boom, boom, boom. Governments, they got to be careful. There's rules, procedures, it's slower.
True, true. But hold on, don't governments have a super important job here? Like making sure AI doesn't go off the rails. We need rules, right?
Absolutely. It's like you have a speedboat, super powerful, needs a captain, sure, but also like maps, safety stuff, you don't want to crash.
Exactly. And Altman himself said working together is key, right?
Yeah.
Governments, companies, got to team up.
Yeah, that sweet spot where you get the cool inventions, but nobody gets hurt, nobody's left behind.
Speaking of nobody gets hurt,
Yeah.
Altman compared AI safety to, get this, airplane safety.
Whoa, interesting.
Right, like things can go wrong, big time. What comes to mind?
Well, think about it. AI running things like power grids or like the stock market, even a tiny mistake, in the code, some weird interaction could cause chaos.
Yeah, it's kind of scary when you put it like that. But okay, let's talk about the good stuff. Altman said AI can revolutionize science, like physics especially.
Oh, yeah.
It's like having Einstein as your lab partner. What are we talking about here specifically?
Imagine you're a scientist stuck on a problem. AI comes in, analyzes tons of data, spots things humans can't. Suddenly, boom, breakthrough. Decades of work done in a flash.
Wow, okay, I'm getting excited now.
Yeah.
But let's address the elephant in the room. Jobs. Are robots taking over?
Well, Altman thinks it's more like a reshuffling, not a takeover.
Okay, so some jobs gone, but new ones pop up.
Right. Some jobs will be automated for sure, but we'll need people to manage the AI, work with it, understand it, new skills, new roles.
So what should we be learning, to survive in this AI future?
Thinking critically, solving problems, getting creative, those are always good. And emotional intelligence, that's huge. It's not about beating the AI, it's using it to be better,
I like that. Now, this is where it gets weird. Altman talked about AI for companionship, like AI friends.
AI friends, that's unexpected.
That's right. Sounds like a movie, but he's serious. Could AI actually help people who are lonely?
Think about how we connect now, right? It's all tech-driven. AI could personalize learning, give emotional support, even just chat with you. Less isolation, maybe.
But wait, isn't there a risk of, getting too attached? Where's the line between helpful and unhealthy?
Good point. Like any tool, you got to use it right. AI can't replace real human connection. That's key.
Totally agree. Now, Altman kept saying fairness is super important. Transparency, democratic values, all that. How do we actually make that happen?
We got to make sure AI doesn't just copy our bad habits, Like imagine AI picking who gets a job. If the data's biased, it'll discriminate. We need safeguards.
So the companies making this AI, they have a huge responsibility here.
Huge. Altman's message is, ethics matter. Can't just chase profits. Gotta be open about what you're doing, be accountable.
All right, so what about us, regular people? What can we do to make sure AI is used for good?
Stay informed, that's number one. Read up, talk about it, ask questions, and don't be afraid to speak up, Hold companies accountable. The future of AI, it's not set in stone. We're all shaping it.
That's a powerful thought. It's been a wild ride today. AI, it's changing everything, right?
Yeah.
Jobs, science, even how we connect with each other.
And it's moving so fast, we got to keep talking about it, make sure it reflects our values.
Absolutely. So here's something to think about as we wrap up. We've talked about AI changing society, but what about us as individuals? As AI gets smarter, more integrated into our lives, will it change what it means to be human? That's something worth pondering.
Wow, that's deep.
Right. All right, folks, that's all for today. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
See you next time.